Dun, 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 dun. I am late. I did not realize the time. Nevertheless, I guess they say better late than never. I'm here on this great Friday morning. I don't have a lot to talk about, but I know I need to come on and touch bases with my peeps. If nothing else, do a post check because I haven't been on in probably, a week? A little over a week, I'm not sure. Yeah. I appreciate everybody that has checked up on me on the back end. I really appreciate that. You have no idea um, how much it means to have people to, care enough to make sure everything's okay. Not like I be here every single day and I'm missing it. Oh my God, where's Meek? But just the lack of my presence prompted a few to check in and make sure everything was good. I am also appreciative of that. Yes, indeed. Man, I had a thought today before I get into what I was talking about. I was thinking about the whole, what's the girl, Risa Tisa? The one that got played by the dude and she had the 50 story TikTok or whatever she did. I didn't listen to any of her story because I'm like, man, I've been played by plenty of Negroes. Okay, what's the big deal? We all done been played before, man and woman. We done all been with somebody who wasn't who we thought. We done all had that person that fooled the hell out of us, okay? But hey realist, what's up? I was thinking like, everybody is, oh, she got a book deal, she got this, she got that, she's being flown out here, look what God did. Good morning, Gary, how are you? Everybody giving her all the praise because she's gotten all these fancy prizes or whatever you want to call them. And I just saw a girl. This is what prompted me to really, really give it more thought and view how, just how different people view things. The young lady, she's an influencer on TikTok and she does videos in like different accents and things. She's really talented. And she talked about how she found herself like falling into the trap of people saying, how she get a deal and she ain't even got a talent. You should have a deal. And she was saying that God checked her, and the spirit was like, basically you being jealous, and this is why you're not getting doors open. I'm like, okay, cool. I can agree with that. We're supposed to be happy for our fellow sister or brother who is blessed, who receives a blessing. Yes, it should be. Well, if you do it for her or him, he'll do it for me. It's according to our own faith, regardless of the fact, what are our intentions for what we really want? Are we really seeking to get fame and fortune out of something? I don't know if Risa Tisa was or wasn't, but I know what happened. And so she was just saying she had to check herself and be happy for our sister and our sister. And I'm like, maybe it's me. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not a hater because I could care less. I don't, like I said, I done been played by plenty of dudes. I don't need to come on here and tell y'all no 50 TikTok story for any good reason, just to hear something that most of us probably didn't been through. Yeah, it may have been a little extreme because he was so whatever, but there's other women that got stories about this dude. So this is not the only one. But my point is this. The thing that I did hear her say is, I grew up in church. I knew this, I did that. Then she said, he gave her a red flag out the gate before she even got to meet him. Before they even had their first meetup, something happened. I think she got a flat. And, it was things that were being thrown in there to stop this situation from transpiring. And for whatever reason, she ignored it. We all got lonely through COVID times and things like that. Maybe she just wanted to be booed up. Whatever. She ignored the red flags. She ignored the ways out that he gave her before she even got into that situation so deep. So in my mind, it's like, man, if you got red flags, and this says that when we're about to do something wrong, God always gives us a way out. Most of us that have did something wrong, we always get that little check to be like, don't do it, or we be thinking of leaving. And we did it anyway. So we've all experienced being disobedient. So in her disobedience, she fell into this trap with this man and all this crazy nonsense that has transpired into a book deal and all this stuff. Now I'm not God, and I'm not saying that God isn't blessing her, but most people are seeing this as, oh, God took what was meant for evil and turned it into good and for her good, and it may very well be. But I'm not certain that it's God blessing her, because in my mind it's like, well, why would he turn around and bless someone for their disobedience? I tried to save you. I tried to stop you, but you did it anyway. So in return for that, I'm going to give you a book deal, and I'm going to give you, okay, maybe because she told the story, he rewarded her. It could be. But what if it's not a blessing from God? What if the enemy loved this story and wants to get her signed to fame? So now where God plays a part in this situation would be, okay, you here now. You got this. Let's see if you see my red flags now. Let me see if they put an offer on the table that you can't refuse, but you know ain't right. Will you decline? Like I showed you in that relationship. Will you take the way out? Will you say no where will you say no where they're trying to get you to say yes to something that isn't approved by me, or whatever the case may be? I feel like her next test is going to come with all this newfound fame and fortune. Will you sell? I'm gonna say sell down, not sell out. Will you sell down? Will you sell into? Will you allow them to buy you out of a situation that it could be good? I'm not saying it's gonna go bad, but I think about, if you ignore the red flags in the relationship, will you ignore the red flags that they might say, well, if you do this, we can do that. If I give you this, will you do that? Will you ignore those flags, or will you be so caught up in the fame and fortune and thinking, will you miss it and then go down a whole nother few years of despair as a result? That was just something I had on my brain. I was thinking about, because I was just watching everybody be like, oh God, look at God, look at God. I'm like, I'm not saying it's not, but are you sure? Are you sure? I don't know if y'all seen that video, devil. What's that boy name? Usher just got up on that stage and thanked the devil for his award, whatever it's called. Some things you just can't. I'm sorry. Some things you can't just stumble up. I meant to say whatever. This is the industry is so wicked. It would be easy to get caught up and think, yay, God blessing me. They want to sign me to a book deal. Like, do you have any other books inside of you? Like I said, I don't know what gifts that woman possessed. So I'm not by any means diminishing what's going on with her. I'm just saying, what if it, what we all see, what if we like, oh my God, she's getting blessed. She's getting blessed. What if it just ain't that? What if she getting blessed by the other side? Because we do know with fame and fortune comes a lot of responsibility. And a lot of people only gonna get so much depending on what they're willing to do. So it's just like, I hope that Miss Risa Tisa pays attention to the red flags, in even in this situation, so that she can definitely get the blessings and rewards that God has for her. Anywho, on to my topic. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I am in my home. Yay! Y'all just don't know the level of comfort You know what I'm saying? Even though I still got to get a lot of things done, I have to go back and get my belongings and things like that. And I just, man, I don't even care. As long as I don't have to go to a hotel again, I am so good. You know what I mean? Um, it took a while, but it took a lot of patience and not giving up. I think a lot of times in situations we give up before we get to the mark because it gets harder, it gets tough, or there's a squeeze on us. So I think that's where obedience is key. If I set out to do a thing, then I need to stick to it. If I'm believing God for all these things, we've talked about the different things we want to have and having faith in those things, faith the size of a mustard seed. If I indeed have faith the size of a mustard seed, then I have to have some level of endurance versus um throwing in the white flag. Is that what it is? Yeah. I have to have a level of endurance other and besides throwing in the white tag. I can't throw in a white man, why can't I talk today? I can't throw in a white flag and say I have faith the size of a mustard seed. There was nothing at that point that needed for me to give up. Although I wanted to, something just kept saying don't, you know. I want to just maybe I should just go back. Maybe I should do this. And I just held on to the thought of being obedient. And I think about all the time that led up to finally getting a place. When I touched down here, first thing I did, well, before I even got here, I made sure I had a place to worship. I know that I am the church regardless of what, but I know that it was in my plan that I go to the church house. I belong to a church in Atlanta for right now, but even that was, I guess you would call it hybrid, partially online and sometimes in person, not in person as often because I had to travel 5 hours, but I knew that I had to be somewhere. That was the next phase of my life. I need to be in a church physically, and it's not to be online or long distance. So I knew that that was one thing that I had to establish, and I pretty much had an idea where I was going when I got here. But I'm just glad that it has proven to be a place that I'm very comfortable and I feel that is of God. That's the last thing I want to do is go somewhere where it just ain't right. It has to agree with my spirit and it has to be leading me to God and not in the opposite direction. You can't be just feeding me a bunch of flim flam. That's gonna be my word for today, flim flam. And I just be like, yes, because I'm more mature now. When you're more mature in the things of God, then you're wiser in decisions. You're wiser in every move that you make. At least you should be. You see what I'm saying? So even down to picking a church, I have to use wisdom because I have my own journey with God. Yes, I have my own relationship with God. Yes, but where I choose to fellowship, it's important to God. Whether it's what they're gonna instill in me or whether it's what he's sending me there to do. Because a lot of times people don't realize you're like, oh, I don't go to church, I don't go to church. But sometimes God will send you to a church on an assignment. Maybe it's something that you have to bring to that church. That's why I don't believe that, yeah, you may go to a church for years, but I don't believe that every church you go to, you're going to be there for the rest of your life. I believe in some cases there are assignments, and when that assignment is up, then you look to God for the next place to be planted and for why, you know? Um, I don't know if I'm on assignment at this church, but I do know this is a place that I'm to be right now. And I believe it's due to something that God wants to delivered to me. And this voice is the voice that is coming through at this time, which is a plus, So, anywho, I've been faithful in as I can in my walk. I've been obedient to going to the church house. Um, I've stuck to a job that I probably would have quit months ago, ordinarily, but I'm still there, busted knee and all, you know what I mean? My knee is, I'm so scared I'm gonna have to get this thing drained or something, but if anybody ever had their knee drained or something, let me know how painful it was. But anywho, um, I push through, Most often when I don't feel like it or when I think I don't have anything left, I keep pushing. And um at the same time, I've also made sure that I always listen to my body. Because a lot of times we'll keep pushing and we'll ignore things with our body, and then you'll put yourself in a worse way. So there are times where I have to, even though I don't want to, I have to fall back. I have to take off a day. I have to leave early in order to preserve myself, my mental, my physical, everything. But as much as I can, I've dug my heels in and kept going. And what I noticed about that week leading up to, we've talked about the no's, and I was always just calm in every no, like, well, that's not what I'm supposed to have. Well, that's not what God wants for me. Whatever the case may be, I've always been cool, calm, and collected with no's. Miss you too, Gary. I've been accepting of the no's, because how can I be just waiting on a yes and be like, yay, yay, he gave me a yes, he said yes. When I have to appreciate everything that God brings my way, whether it's no or yes. So therefore, I'm appreciative of the no's, because I know that even if I don't know, God knows why that was a no. He knows why that wasn't the house, that wasn't the apartment. Now, I wish he could tell me why we had to spend all them hundreds of dollars, but okay, yeah, a seed maybe. That's how I'm gonna look at it. Um, but I'm grateful that I'm always a person who tends to find a positive in what seemingly is a negative, or what most would deem a negative. I have to find something positive in something. If something bad happens to me, I have to extract something positive out of it, because for me to dwell on the negative side is just gonna hold me back. It does not speak to the level of faith that I say I have. So therefore, everything is for a reason. Nothing is by chance. So leading up to, like I said, all the no's there, man, we tried many ways to get this done. But oh God, y'all, I'm sleepy. um, there were a chain of events that happened leading up to, and without going into great detail, there was giving of life to Christ, rededication to Christ, whatever you know. Um, there was, I think, a level of patience that became stronger. And there was a yes, and connected to that yes was a lot of dollars. Understand? And immediately, I'm like, I can do this. All I got to do is I won't go get a room. I'll After work, I'll just stay in the car and I'll go DoorDash. I'll get this money and I had it all planned out of how I'm going to get up to this astronomical, ridiculous amount of money just for a place to live. But that's where I was in my desperation. Like, I didn't care what it took. If you told me I could have went and got $1,000 for my blood, I would have went and did it at that point, you know, because man, it was a strain pulling from the paycheck ahead just to have a place to stay, you know. So um making good money and not able to see it is never the goal. But hey, it sustained me regardless. Thank God that I was able to pull early, or I am able to pull early. You know, the beauty of it is this week I ain't pulled nothing but $25 for gas. And so even with that, I wanted to try my hardest. You know, I came on here a couple times in the morning time. Y'all may not have known, but I wasn't going to sleep. I was just like, psh, if a nap came in the car, it came in the car. I ate my breakfast. I might have talked on live. Um, but every time I turned on DoorDash, it was like when you turn on DoorDash, if it's busy, it's red. The map is lit up red or pink, you know, whatever the case. Every time I turned on DoorDash, it was gray. And I'm thinking to myself now, any other time when I turn on this thing, it would be red. It would be busy during this time. No matter what. 1, 2, 3 days I did this. And not one day could I DoorDash, which meant I wasn't gonna make all that money anyway for some strange reason. It just wasn't happening. So on that, I think it was the second day, applied to another place, even after the man said yes. So come the third day, that's when the yes came from that other place. It was almost like God wouldn't let me even get my hustle on. He made me rest in those moments, like chill, lay back. Like I wouldn't imagine myself dozing off in the car. I don't have tent, you know what I'm saying? So, man, I'll be knocked out. Nobody bother me, nobody, honestly. But I say that to say, you know, how we say obedience is better than sacrifice. What I realized in those 3 days was the obedience in sacrifice, you know, the willingness to sacrifice something to get something you need, you know. Um, I could have easily been in a hotel, but I was determined to stick these 3 days out and keep this money so I can have me a place to live. And when he didn't allow me to get money, it was like, wait a minute, this ain't gonna work. But I just didn't get discouraged, you know. I made that sacrifice, and just like Christ on the third day, guess what happened? Something rose. No, I'm just kidding. He made a way, you know what I mean? I feel like because I made the ultimate sacrifice in that moment, I was willing to do whatever it took. Man, probably if it was gonna kill me, and that's probably why he didn't let me drive. But I was willing. This has to happen. I need this 3,000 something dollars, and I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna stay in the car. I'm gonna even through those nights I worked, you know, after that. You know, I work 7 to 5:30, so that's minimal rest in the daytime because I get off work, I usually go to sleep, wake up, whatever. No, I did that for 3 days, and then I had a place to go. So that was my whole observation. You know, yeah, obedience is better than sacrifice, but we also must recognize the obedience in the sacrifice. The fact that you will are willing to sacrifice is a level of obedience in itself. You know, a lot of people be like, oh, I couldn't go without this. I can't go without that. But that moment you go without, I think it proves to God your willingness to lay it all on the line and trust in Him that He's going to provide. You know, I didn't miss anything. Everything was good, and I obtained exactly what I was leaving for. So, I'm going to apply that to other areas of my life. You know, when we think it's a stretch to give something up, you know, like how Gary, you know, been doing great on this fast for Lent. I'm sure you're seeing a lot of things transpire that are nothing short of amazing. I'm sure you have gained extra clarity. And it's all connected to obedience and sacrifice. There's absolutely a great deal of obedience and sacrifice. I don't think you can have one without the other. And I think it's very important to have those two in your life. Because, like, if I'm not willing to give up something, what is it that I'm going to get that's worth having? I mean, they say that about people all the time. But, if you let it go and it come back to you, it was yours. That's stupid crap. But obedience is definitely key to obtaining favor from the Lord. Hey, it may be favor, it may be mercy or grace. I don't care. Obedience and sacrifice works hand in hand, and it works together for your good. You can't tell me that um, when you choose to um, turn away from something you enjoy, or when you give up something that you think you need, or you push your plate back, however you choose to sacrifice, when you give to someone something you really didn't have, but you were able, you can't tell me that what you reap isn't a, um, a good harvest from that. You just can't tell me that. I believe that definitely all things work together for them to love the Lord, but I also believe that things work together for those that are willing to sacrifice. I think we need the bare minimum to survive. Everything else is our blessings, the things that our gifts made room for. They are the things that we desire to have. And because we were obedient and we did a sacrifice, we were granted those things. I don't think anything is necessarily, yeah, Gary. I don't think that, what was I going to say? Just try obedience, people. That's what I could tell you. Give up something you thought you couldn't for something that you desperately need. Not what you want, something you need. I think it's easy for us to obtain things we want on our own. But we talking about things that you need, things that are important to life, important to your survival, important to you getting to the next steps, next level. And man, I know you've said that often, Gary, when we talk about obedience and sacrifice, that sometimes obedience is the sacrifice. That is 150,000% true. 150,000% true. Yes, I'm saved, been saved. I decided to rededicate my life. That was me sacrificing myself back to the Lord. Then I decided I'm not going to go get this room and be comfortable and cozy and spend this money. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to turn this hustle into something different. Hey, maybe that was my fast. I said I was going to give up something. I was giving up my breaks at work. I didn't go to breaks. I was sitting by my machine waiting until it was time to get started back. I'm still doing that because it ain't enough time. But when I first started doing that, it was just, I don't know. It was just what I could give at that moment. But at any rate, I am safe in my own home. Looking forward to um, decorating, and it's a new phase in my life. I'm in a whole new leg of my journey. I have a household, and I'm looking forward to every growth spurt, every learning experience, every high and low. Because there's not one without the other. I'm looking forward to having that um people talking in the hallway. I'm looking forward to having the wherewithal to withstand everything that comes next, you know. And I'm not saying that in a sense of something bad is coming. I'm saying that in a sense of nothing that we have in life comes without hard work. You know, so I have a lot of work ahead of me because I am still getting established in Virginia. It's not all just about my house. I'm a hairstylist by trade. I haven't done hair but a couple times since I've been here. So that's definitely at the top of the list now, is getting back into what I love. You know, I watched my friend on TikTok, not on TikTok, on one of them, on her stories doing hair, and I'm sitting here like, I'm coming to see you. Cause I always do my mental I be in competition with her just by myself. You know, it ain't a real competition, but I be like, yeah, I'm about to get with you on that hairstyle. And I start posting and she'll call me, be like, what you using? Something look different. You know, we had those, it's like we had those unsaid competitions. So I'm looking forward to getting there and showing out, you know, doing what I do, making my mark as I plan to do here in the first dang on place. That is absolutely not out the window. So oh my God, I'm excited about doing hair again. So hopefully next month I'll get going and be able to promote, you know, now that I've been saying the whole time, if I had a place to rest and be able to set a different type of schedule. So I have that now, you know, I don't have to worry about waiting till 12 o'clock to check into the hotel and all that good stuff. I can do the things that I'm planning to do. Um, I'm just I guess, looking forward to starting my life. And of course, my life has started off with a big boom anyway. You know, there was no relationship in plan, but I have one, and it's a good one. So I'm thankful for that. You know, we don't always meet good people, but I just say God know what He doing. You know what I'm saying? It ain't necessarily just about what I needed, but you know, maybe the other party needed as well. At this point, I'm looking at everything for the assignment. Absolutely, Gary. And that's the one thing I held on to. God has never left me hanging, no matter what it looked like, no matter what it felt like. Even when it seemed like He was out the door, He never, ever, ever, ever left me hanging. I could have needed something and not had it right up until the hour I needed it. That has always been. That's why I say I always have to remember versus panic, you know. There's a lot of things, maybe not to certain extremes, but in most cases when things get tough, you have to remember I've been here before. Remember the outcome. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times we get into these situations and things where it seems like everything's going to fall apart or we're not going to be able to do something, and every time God has stepped in and made a way. That's where we do get that. He might not come where you want him, but He's always on time. We got to remember He's on time God. So even if it's down to the last 5 seconds, He's going to come and make the winning shot. That's the type of faith we need to have in life, you know. Yeah, buddy. We're gonna be doing it big. We never ever stop. It just got a little tight, you know. When you're big in a tight spot, you got to wait till you break out. Cause I ain't never stopped being big. You know what I mean? I knew the relationship was coming, and it's going to lead to the greatness that was in your storehouse. You will find it and put it on display. Hmm. Well, I would say you probably did because you always said that. Like I feel like, what are you talking about? Are you prophesying to me? You're like you're gonna go there and you're gonna meet men, and I'm like, what? Dude, quit playing. You have no idea. One day I'll have to get permission to share. But yeah, you're right. It's a lot of greatness connected to it, you know. there's a lot of things that I'm able to do now that I'm thankful to God for choosing me as the vessel. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a new day. It's a new day. I'm thankful that I paid attention to the lessons he's taught me, you know. Whereas I don't know everything, but I'm able to share in a way to help other people understand and get to their own way. That's what it's all about. You know, we've been talking about church the last few weeks and, you know, how we are the church, but, you know, as far as the building or whatever. And Gary, you would constantly say, what about the souls? What about the souls? Anybody caring about souls anymore? And that, oh my God, that is so important. That's what it's supposed to be about, you know. If we can sit up here and say, "Oh, the end is coming. He's coming back. He's soon to return," and nobody trying to get these people to go in the right direction, then you're failing everybody. You know, for what? I can say that within the last 2 weeks, I've seen three that are connected to me either give their life or rededicate their life, and I'm blown away by it. Sick of hearing what he's coming back. He's soon to return when we don't know the day nor the hour. I'm like this. If you really believe that in all your heart, then that puts an urgency to what we should and should not be doing. That's how I feel about it. So if you're going to say it, then what changes are you making just in case it's tomorrow? I happen to believe that that's my cue to do everything that I'm called to do and quit procrastinating or putting off. Um, will an end time come? Yeah, but the end of a time, you know. Like none of us are perfect, and I don't think that God expects perfect from us. He doesn't expect perfect from us. If that's the case, then the reason for Christ coming and going was might as well not have happened. You know, he didn't have to do that. But I think it's us with imperfections that are willing to do more than those that are so called holy and righteous, you know. It is us with the flaws that people look at like, how can you tell me anything, that are willing to do it in the face of those people that would look at you like, she thinks she better than, or who are you? Those things like that, you know. How you out here doing this and you be drinking it? So what? I'm willing. When God ready to take that away, he'll take it. And I'm not saying me in particular. I'm saying just in general of what people say about certain people because they don't look like what they think God would use, or they're not doing the things they think that God would. But what about their heart? You know, you got some people out here that appear to be so righteous, but their heart is smudged. Their heart is dirty. Yeah, I can do a few wrong things and I probably shouldn't be doing them, but my heart, the posture of my heart is I love God. And even through mess, I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm willing to do something he asks of me, even if it's unpopular or makes me look crazy. I'm willing to do it. Yeah, I'm willing to be at happy hour and go and minister to somebody I'm sitting next to, because I believe that's how God works. Because the holy rollers ain't going to happy hour. They too good. It's a sin to walk up in that bar. Who want to go and get those people? You know, what about the people that are doing things that maybe I've come out of? My job is not to go back into it. It's to talk about how I came through it to those same people. What it looks like on the other side of that is this. Yeah, I used to do that too. But look, I'm still having fun. I'm still doing this, and I don't do that anymore. You know, it's to be an example. That's what I feel. Yeah, heck no. A trinity being presented to me, your mind, body, and soul. Yeah, vision, person, trinity. United in greatness is 500. Yeah, I mean, I just really, I'm excited. I'm excited for everybody that I come in contact with. That's how I feel about it, because I'm always gonna look for, okay, why is this person here? What am I supposed to give to them? Or just being woke to when like I told y'all, the young lady came to me and asked me if I went to a church that I liked, and then she just began to share her testimony with me, and we were able to just have a long conversation for a while on the job. When I see that same young lady grab her friend and they come to church and then both of them turn their life to God, I know that I'm doing, regardless of what people think I'm not doing or what I think I'm doing wrong, I'm doing something right. He can only make me better through these experiences because he's showing me his goodness. He's showing me his goodness through my willingness to do the work. Not afraid to share the good news, not afraid to talk about Jesus Christ. Some people will, you know, or Jesus, and I know some of you may subscribe to that. Okay, that's fine. But I stand on Jesus, and I'm it's not my job to cater to everyone's, belief system. My job is to not disrespect anybody and not to try to force myself on anybody. I stand on what I stand on. Make it like it's not wrong bone in anybody, but all they got to do is sit back and lie. Oh yeah, of course, really, that's the way the world is. If people really think, is who is an accuser in the Bible? It ain't the saints. The accuser of the brethren is the devil himself. So if you sitting here trying to be all holy and you accusing everybody else of doing wrong, you might want to raise an eyebrow. It's like this: I can't hide who I am and what I do or nothing from God. So why not just go? What they say, come as you are. People think that means come to church, dress however. No, it means come as you are, some filthy rag who is unworthy, but I'm willing. You might not like what I look like. You might not like where I hang out. You might not like none of that stuff. But I feel like everything in our life is used by God. For me, it's just been a matter of paying attention to when it's time. That's why when the young lady walked up to me and talked to me, I spoke to her in the way I know I was supposed to. And there's always something to let me know, yes, this is God. When the mind begins to complement the soul, the body becomes whole. You complete yours. Meek. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, the word just fell out the rapture. Yeah, I mean, you see what you see and you hear what you hear. I don't think it's far fetched. It's not as far as to me analyzing anything. Some people just are. Some things just are as is. But like I said, it ain't none of my business. All I got to do is do what I'm supposed to do. And if it involves you, then it involves you. I'm gonna know. Lo and behold, I'm not paying attention to a lot of things, but I'm also paying attention to a lot of things. If that makes any sense. I'm not paying attention to a lot of things, but I'm also paying attention to a lot of things because I have to. It's like I always see myself different ways. I never thought that when I started doing the group at church for the women, I never saw myself doing that, but I was willing. That's why I'm able to come on here and talk like I talk, because I pretty much do the same thing. Um, that's why it's not about numbers and followers or subscriptions or whatever the case. It's not about that for me. Like I said, I'll sit here and talk to one person. I started off the first few minutes with zero until Realist dropped in, and then Gary came in, still talking. Why? Because I'm commanded to press play and talk. It has nothing to do with YouTube or popularity or following and all that good stuff. Because what I was thinking the other day, y'all know that when they say things like you are what you eat. And what I take from that is what you take in, what you consume, you become. So just think if we apply that to other things besides food, because I really, in a broader sense, I don't think that's related really to a tomato. We know if you eat a lot of tomatoes, you don't become a tomato. But what you feed your soul, what you feed your mind, what you feed your spirit, you become. Feed it bullshit, you become full of bullshit. If you feed it love, light, and goodness, you become that. So imagine being on a social media app where you're a good person, but you're indulging in the wrong things. You're indulging in ways of others that are not necessarily your ways, but in the sense of, let me break this down, let me react. Everything that we take in, after a while, you can only react in and respond to so much before you become that. And I think that's where a lot of the breakdown happens. A lot of people don't realize, like, although you're on the alleged good side of the fence, after a while you become the same thing. What they say, if you argue with a fool long enough, they won't know who's the fool. It's the same thing. So that's why I don't care if I have 3 people in the chat, 10 people. It could be 100 people. I'm still gonna be the same me. I don't want to become anything other than what God wants me to be. I don't my stuff is, I've been here, is not based off of anything else. I've come across a bunch of cool people here. Yeah. And I enjoy, chopping it up with everybody. I visit chats and I have fun. But I don't get involved in that stuff. No. No. That's why I've curbed my intake of a lot of things. Because sometimes after you hear something over and over again, it's like, okay, this is redundant. That gets in the way of your journey, I think, because when we talk about that path, and you get we on that path and you get sidetracked by something over there and you start to stop and go see what that's all about. That's one of those things. I'm not about to allow anything to take me off my path that isn't going to benefit my path. It's fun, kiki, ha ha. But at the end of the day, is what you're consuming damaging to what you're producing? Are you producing exactly what you're consuming? We have to really look at the bigger picture with a lot of things. Hey, Calvin. We have to look at the bigger picture of a lot of things. Um, yeah, a lot of people do the most. I let them. I don't got nothing to do with that, buddy. I'm not about to react to it, respond to it. I ain't about to do nothing. If somebody was calling my name tomorrow, I'm gonna say, God bless you, sis, bro. Because I refuse to become a consumer of things that are gonna corrupt my spirit, ruin my soul. Even in being imperfect, I know better than to pick up toxic things. I've had enough things in my life that bring toxicity than to go and play with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Um, The funniest thing is people don't think demon time is real. We say it because we hear it in rap songs, but I think it's only a select few that understand demon time is real time. Once you open yourself up in certain ways, they come in. I guess the first thing you have to realize is when you say demon time, there's really demons. There's really demonic activity out here. There's really wickedness out here that will come into your spirit and corrupt you if you let it. I can say it over and over again till I'm blue in the face. Those type of spirits come in legally, which means you give them access. They don't just sneak in. You be like, oh my God, how'd you get here? You might not realize you opened the door to it, but they come because you allowed it. So what you consume can also open doors. You see what I'm saying? Before you know it, you're involved in a back and forth, and now you've opened the door because you stayed there too long. Next thing you know, you done slipped up and said something about somebody's mama, and that's not your character. And after that, a lot of them just be like, "Oh, F it, I'm here now." And then you be like, "Dang, another one went dark." He want another one. That's all. Just as much as God wants us out here, compelling and winning souls for Him, that other one want them souls too. So that's the battle, between good and evil. We want your soul over here in the dark, or we want your soul over here in the light. It is in our best interest to try to go to the light, Caroline. But unfortunately, some before it'll be too late before some recognize how far it's gone. It'll be too late. I'm mostly amazed at some of the stuff I see because I'm like, do you not even know you did anything? Because that's the gist of it. A lot of people don't even know, oh, it's just YouTube, it's entertainment. Okay. For the sake of fun, for the sake of fun, lose your whole soul, lose all your values, morals out the door. Calvin said he ain't on demon time, but he stay on demon watch. That's how you better, because they out there lurking every day. And they look like you and I, just as normal. Just as normal. They come sweet and nice and kind. They come for the people. We got to stick together. They come for the kids. They all be in disguise. I don't know, y'all. Like I said, if it is the end time coming, that should put a urgency under some people's feet. If you really truly believe that day coming soon, as they say, need to start thinking what you need to have done by that time. What is it that we supposed to have done before the return of Christ? Have you done those things? For those that believe, have you done those things? Because if you truly believe he coming back sooner than you think, and in your heart of hearts that you ain't did what you supposed to do, something wrong with you. That's like sitting here waiting on the ball to drop. I said, I don't know. I'm not perfect by far, but I am definitely not trying to just be wrong all the time for just because. You know better, you do better. That means something. When you know better, you do better. In this world, it don't seem like nobody know better, man. You see so much craziness out here. And then it's like, how have you ever heard them say that it'll get worse before it get better? Like you hear that, but if you pay attention, it's really happening. That's what you're supposed to do. realist, be the best person that you can, and everything else that's supposed to happen or needs to be known to you will come. It will come. Hey, Marissa. Yeah, it gets worse before it gets better. That's in our everyday life, and it's also in this world. So what we see right now is a whole shit show happening in the whole world. That's just the best way to describe it. Hey, a whole shit show going down. You got all these signs and things in your face, and just with the entertainment world in itself. Everything them people do is in plain sight, but everybody's still saying, "Oh, you're just a hater. That's creativity." Well, you got to pay attention to symbols. You got to pay attention to colors. You got to pay attention to all that stuff that you're not dragged down with it. Unfortunately, it's our favorite ones. Like I said, y'all see that video? Usher got up and said, "I want to thank the devil for this award," or whatever he said. And then he tried to clear it up from the depths of my heart. No, you said devil, man. I want to give thanks to the devil from the depths of my heart. I think he did it accidentally on purpose, if that makes sense. Accidentally on purpose. I think sometimes those people are trying to warn us because they can't, but they're trying to warn us to a certain extent. When they slip up and do stuff like that, I think they're trying to tell us, like, this ain't what you thought. But that's why I don't indulge in a lot of things. I use my discernment for a lot of things, most things. I don't care if it's TV, music, radio. I don't care. If it don't sit well with me, we don't consume it. I don't consume it. Oh shoot. Anywho. Oh, Calvin. No, I'm just kidding. If you think it, then so. Of course. I mean, like I said, things get worse before it get better. It's plain as day when ooh, help me, Lord, and protect and cover me, cause I don't want no beef with them people. No, I'm just kidding. When you see whoever has the most popular songs that people allow their kids to do TikToks to wind up in our schools because parents don't investigate artists. They don't investigate the meaning of the song, the origins of the song. So that way we end up with Little Nas X at school and all the kids screaming out. You end up with Blueface and his baby mama in a high school singing Bust It Down Tatiana. What example are those people to our youth? You end up with Sexy Red, who just had her baby out of wedlock, going up into school, talking about her. Y'all know I can't even say what she say, but why is she there? But we'll put our kid on TikTok and we'll be doing a song. Twin, where have you been? When she's singing about her lover, and then they send her to a school. That's no dig at nobody else, but I believe that people should have the right to raise their children the way they're going to raise them, and they shouldn't be subjected to anything out front or subliminally, because that's where it happens in the subliminal, I believe. You allow your kid to listen to a song. It's a cute song. You on here singing it with them. You singing to your baby with somebody else is singing to another woman. Like, that don't go together. We got to stop doing what's cute and think about the way the world is set up. How they singing this because their mama's listening to it in front of them. Some of these babies don't, because their parents won't get it. And unfortunately, their parents are so young that their grandparents are young and they probably don't even get it. I'm so glad in a way I don't have grandkids yet, but I'm also glad that when they come, psh, oh, grandma ready. And my kids are pretty wise too, so it's gonna be a good thing, you know. It's gonna be a good thing. I don't even know a Sexy Red song, honestly. I don't. I know things she say, but I don't know a song. If I hear a song, I might be like, "Oh, that's her," but I don't know the difference between Sexy Red, Glorilla. I I don't know. All I know is it ain't for babies. I barely want to hear it. I'm 51. Shoot, let alone a 5-year old. Oh, that's that song they be on the TikTok and the kids be dancing to the song when they be playing like they going in a daycare. My heart really, 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 really gets stirred and upset when it comes to TikTok because I can't stand to see people trying to go viral using their children because that's how they boy. If you got a kid that seems to be a little talented, they gonna come and dangle that carrot. Every time I see a kid that go viral, I'll be like, "Ooh, I hope they got the good Lord on their side, cause uh-uh, setting them up." But I don't know. Y'all know how we just flow into something else. But I do need to get my day started. I wanted to come on here and touch bases with you guys because I haven't been here in a while. Like I said, a couple people did check up on me, and I appreciate that greatly. Um, in the coming weeks, I'll be here more. I'm just getting situated, getting the house right. I got TVs. No, I was kidding. But I'm still gonna have me a virtual housewarming. Shoot, I take groceries. I take bathroom stuff, twin full and king sheets. I take all that good stuff, gift cards. But yeah, I'll probably come back on here. Maybe Saturday. Oh, that's tomorrow, isn't it? If not Saturday, I'll be back Monday. Yeah. So I appreciate everybody that showed up. I hope that, something I said earlier on resonates with someone, helps you have a different perspective or even pushes you to a direction that you were pondering upon and just needed some sort of confirmation about obedience and sacrifice. Obedience is better than sacrifice, but sometimes, like Gary said, sometimes obedience, sacrifice is the obedience. So, just know that um doing something a little different that adds a little pressure to your plate can yield significant fruit. Just be willing. That's what I say. Be willing. And God works out everything in our favor when we do. If this didn't resonate with you, that's cool. You might know somebody that it will resonate with. Because some of us got it all together, been there, done that. So if you know somebody else it might help, share, because sharing is caring. As always, you're more than welcome to hit the Cash App, but that's not most important. The most important thing is that you hit the like button, share, and subscribe. And yeah, that's how we do over here. I appreciate you guys. Had a little fun today, and I'll talk to you later. Yes, I'm okay. I'm ready, Gary. Thank you. I ready. As they would say in Charleston, I ready. I ready. I ready for this greatness. You don't know much, but I ready. As always, I've been eating cereal too. Honeycombs. I'm on honeycombs right now. I gotta go get me some more. That is the biggest. Oh my God. Having some cereal. Yes. All right, y'all. Let me go so I can get my day started. Appreciate you guys. Bye bye now.